Welcome to That Digital Take. I'm your host, Torri Webster. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to That Digital Take. We have a very unique episode today because I've decided to pass along something unique, which is a hard skill in editing. Now, maybe you have tuned into this video because you are a first-time editor. You are looking to start a social media channel and you really don't know where it starts, where to start when it comes to editing. So I really thought back to when I began my journey as a creator. And the thing about editing is that a lot of it is very self-taught. And, you'll get questions as you become a creator, which is like, how do you make your content feel so polished? And, what's the secret? Is it really in the edit or is it the camera? And here's the thing, like editing is a very unique way to tell your story. And for me, it's kind of like this hidden ingredient. It's this thing that when people come to my channel, it's like that je ne sais quoi, like everyone has their different version of editing and it's about creating content that is worth stopping for, especially in today's economy where we are tuning out of things so quickly and we really only have 3 seconds to capture people's attention. A lot of that comes down to the nature and the energy of an edit. So anyways, this is a unique episode. If you are a loyal listener, I do recommend for this episode actually tuning into the YouTube format of the video because I'm going to be kind of genuinely working through my workflow and working with real footage and kind of showing you guys a step-by-step guide of how I will get a video from long raw footage down to like a TikTok or an Instagram reel cut. And this is very valuable information if you are just looking to start or maybe you're looking to hone your skills. So anyways, let's kind of get right into it because I think this is a cool, hard skill to learn. And the thing about editing is you really can't learn unless you go through it. So let's kind of dive right in. Now, I have been using CapCut. This is a little bit new for me. I was a Final Cut girl pretty much my entire career. But the thing about Final Cut is I find it's really for like proficient editors and the learning curve is immense. Like it's not just something you can pick up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to just get a whole video edited. So I think for today, I wanted to introduce you guys to CapCut Desktop. Now, if you are more familiar with editing, you'll know that CapCut does also have an iPhone version. I really recommend diving into a desktop version of editing. There's a few reasons for this. I think your capabilities are a lot stronger. You can get tighter edits. And again, it is based on preference, but I just prefer to kind of have my workflow all on a desktop. So anyways, all that to say, there's so much personality that goes into an edit. So, take this for what you will. I want you to always bring your own zest to your edits. But if you really are starting from ground zero, this is going to be a great video to start with, and it will be a true intro guide to editing. All right, I'm chatting too much. Let's get into the nitty gritty. So I'm just in my launch pad here, and we're going to go to CapCut, which, like I said, this is the desktop version of CapCut, which is amazing. It's really fantastic that they have created this. Now, as you see, when I open up the CapCut, the launch pad here, what we have at the top is just a bunch of projects that I've already created. So this is like, you're just getting a version of like workflow that I've already done. But for today, what I really want to do is show you step by step what it means to create a new project. So just in this top corner here, we're going to go create new project. Okay. So this is what now your screen is going to look like. Now I know you might be thinking I'm really overwhelmed. I don't know where to begin. Okay. Let's break it down even further. Number one, you're going to gather all of your raw footage. Okay. So hopefully by the time you get to this point, you have some A-roll main talking head footage, you have some B-roll content, you might have some text overlays, you might want to include some music, some branding elements, things like that. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go into your downloads, and today we're going to do a real workflow. Like this is a video that I'm editing for a spa that I went and captured spa footage for, and I was doing a review of this local spa. So we're going to grab all of this footage and we're literally just going to drag and drop that footage into my workflow here on CapCut. Now, you're going to see there's like multiple ways to acknowledge this footage. Like we're going to see it here in my in my actual feed, but then we'll also see it up here. So you kind of can get a vibe of all the footage that you've dragged into this one project. Okay. So see how I'm kind of like scrolling in and out. This is a good place to start, especially when you're just trying to understand what you shot, kind of understand like, okay, I see over here, I've got my back acne moment over here. I've got more like facial moment in this part of the video. This is a longer video. As I can see, I've got 56 minutes of footage. So this is us trying to acknowledge, like, now we've ingested it all, but like, how are we going to actually select the footage that's going to be included in this very short cut down? Like I said, this is really about optimizing for Reels and TikTok. So this is ideally, we're getting this down to about a minute, maybe even tighter. So you can kind of understand, like, the edit is huge. Like, I'm dealing with 56 minutes of footage right now, and I've got to get this down to like, 56 seconds essentially. So it's really about finding those moments that are valuable. Okay. So it really starts with just ingesting the footage, understanding where to start. Now, like I did mention, I really am loving CapCut right now for a few reasons, and I will get into those reasons. But I think one of them is just that the workflow is very simple. It's not as complicated as Final Cut Pro. And I want to show you why. So we go to the very beginning of this video. It starts with me kind of, acknowledging the camera. I should peel away from this for a second and just say this particular video would be one that I would set to voiceover. And the reason I'm working with this type of footage is because I thought it would be a lot easier for me to kind of walk you guys through it as you're acknowledging the footage versus me dealing with kind of talking head content, because that's more difficult for me to play with because of the audio. So you're not hearing anything, but that's because at the end, this will all be set to a voiceover. Okay, so back to the workflow. So we kind of see, I'm like acknowledging the camera here. I'm like, all right, what do I want to do? I like this little moment where I kind of put my hand up. So I'm going to go Command B, okay? Command B is the shortcut, actually on Final Cut as well, but let's just focus on CapCut. If you think that the shortcuts are going to be overwhelming for you, the amazing thing about CapCut, like I said, it's very easy to use. You just have this little dongle and you can just truly drag the footage to the point that you want to use it. So you see me kind of making this clip shorter here in the timeline, and we can cut it right there, okay? So I've got now this moment here where I'm acknowledging the camera. Okay, so that is now potentially clip number one. Again, I can skim through this footage and see if there's anything. Sometimes you might want to look at the end, one of these like more transitional moments where the camera is kind of moving. That can be a great way to capture audience attention. So maybe I want to be in a bit of a blurry spin and the camera finds me, and maybe I want to use that as my intro. So again, I just Command B, and I can just drag this footage. Again, very simple. It's really actually quite, I don't want to say easy, but once you do kind of find those shortcuts, you realize, oh, okay, that's pretty good. So maybe I'm realizing this clip is still a bit too long. I might want to drag that even further. Okay. Intuitive, that's a great word to use. There's an intuition you can use when playing on this CapCut program. Okay, now I don't want to take too much of this time making this a perfect edit. I just want to introduce you guys to tools. So let's kind of jump ahead here. We can see there's a bit of a transitional moment of me actually walking. Oh, what I did there, you might have just saw, I dragged the volume down right in that bar, that lower bar. See how I can drag it and drop it? So I dragged that volume down because, like I said, I want to set all of this to voiceover. I want it to be essentially silent footage for me to work with. So maybe we want a quick little moment of my feet walking into the salon, just so we can acknowledge to the audience we have this transition of where I'm heading. Do we care to see the inside of my car? That seems like we don't need it. So I might just want to fully delete that. I can just select that footage completely and hit delete. And there you go. It's out of the timeline. So again, quite intuitive. So now we see me walking in, finding flow. We don't need too much walking. Let's delete some of that. Then we see, okay, we've arrived at Tight Clinic. This is going to be the focus of the video. This is a nice moment to highlight. If you ever find like you're losing, like you've hit a thing and see how like my thing is kind of tripping out right now. If you click A, it resets the whole screen. So if you ever find yourself in a moment where you're like, why is my screen chirping out? A is kind of like a reset button. So you might want to hit A, and okay, we have the Tight Clinic, we're in, and now we might want to play around with the entrance footage. So again, this will be set to voiceover. So we really don't need a ton going on, but just these little transitional moments, that's what TikTok really appreciates. And then we get introduced into the studio. again, maybe only a 3 to 5 second intro. And we might want to show off how nice this new studio is with the voiceover. So we can, again, add a little clip of that. Now, here's where things get interesting and what I recommend. Let's do this one last little piece. This is me kind of introducing the location. Now, this is where it comes down to more taste, frequency of edit in terms of how your audience recognizes you, and also the hook. Okay. So now we actually land in the footage where I'm genuinely getting the treatment done. So this is interesting stuff. This is like where things are actually happening. We're seeing a full review of, the actual treatment. So let's jump ahead to where we think the treatment is looking like really interesting. Like maybe it's a point, maybe it is the moment where I expose myself that I have had back knee and we say, hey, look at my back knee. And this is the video. Okay. I'm going to grab this clip. And this is again, where I recommend, you really focus as an editor. And instead of leaving this at the end to be like, this is genuinely at the 56-minute mark, I'm going to actually drag this to the very top of my video. Okay. So yes, we have all this intro footage still here, all the stuff where I'm at the car and I'm coming into Tight Clinic and all of that. It's still there, but I've actually put this portion first. Here's why. This is now going to be the hook. So I'm going to do a short little moment here where I introduce the video and we're going to have this portion be the intro. Now, like I said, we're going to be dealing with voiceover, but just as a simple example here so you can get an idea of what I'm trying to say or of what I'm trying to explain to you guys as a hook, it'll go like this. It'll be like, I have been dealing with back knee for the last couple of months. And then we're going to shorten this even more. It's going to be snippy. So come behind the scenes with me at Toronto's hottest, newest clinic to understand how I'm beating back knee. Welcome into the vlog. And then we go into it. So see how I've played with there's a world where this could have been very much the end of the video, but using moments like this that have a lot of, they grab attention. And it's not that I'm trying to trick my audience. Ultimately, yes, this will be a part of the video, but I'm showing them what we're getting to faster. So as opposed to leaving this down the line in the timeline and going through this whole hi, welcome into Tight Clinic. We're going to go today to get a spa moment. Wouldn't you be way more engaged to watching this video if it was hey, I've been dealing with back knee after going off birth control and now we're going to deal with it together. It's no, immediately you're hooked. You want to understand why I have back knee, where I'm getting this treated, and we're going to work through it together. So I hope that also acts as a very helpful tip when it comes to your first edit or getting better at editing wherever you are in your editing timeline. Now here, clearly there's a lot of talking. I'm just getting settled. Okay. So we see this moment here where things start to actually happen. So let's kind of go back. We like this moment where we start to see the massage. So like I said, Command B, we're just going to delete the footage that feels like it's extra. So okay, we like this little moment. We see a massage. Now, again, it's really about keeping it pretty tight. Specifically for TikTok and Instagram, we don't really like footage that's more than 5 seconds long. And you want things that are action oriented. So see, when I see her hands like that, I'm like, okay, that's a good action moment. I'm going to delete all the extra footage and we're going to deal with the action. Okay, we like this little moment of action and then we're going to jump ahead. And again, not everything needs to be shared. It really is about finding those moments where you're okay, the voiceover will be able to talk to how this was beneficial for me or what I took away from this, or even if just the massage technique, I mean, this is unique because I'm doing a massage review, but if the massage techniques look good on camera, you're allowed to be pretty vain about it, hey, what is looking good? Okay, we like this moment maybe because the neck is really being focused on. So again, Command B, we're going to delete all that extra footage. Okay, this is kind of nice. She has more unique massage techniques happening here. So again, we'll kind of keep some of that. And okay, now I want to jump into some more nitty gritty before we get too deep into it. So maybe we like this moment, but we're oh, this is so long. This is not it's not happening fast enough for TikTok. We're going to go to the top right and hit speed. Because this is also unique because it's a massage video, maybe we just want it sped up. So we can just drag this little doggle on the top right corner. Let's see how fast that looks. So now it's 3 times speed. So we can jump ahead. And maybe that looks nice now because we're oh, wow, this looks faster. Oh, faster on camera. Look how exciting that looks. That looks very exciting. So see how just working with something as simple as speed can really actually influence and change the video. Otherwise, look how slow this looks on camera. We're going to lose audiences immediately. So, right? So those are just things to consider. Now, to move back to the beginning, like I said, because this is unique and it'll be set to voiceover, I want to focus on other tools you guys can learn about. Other things that really grab audience's attention, especially off the top, is going to be text. So I just hit the text button. We're literally just going to drag and drop. Now, what do we want to call this? Maybe fighting back knee, Toronto spa. Okay. Is that how we spell back knee? I guess so. Back knee. It's just acne for the back. And we're just going to go like this. Now, maybe we want more unique text. This is an exciting way to grab audience attention as well. And this is, again, why I really like CapCut, because it's very intuitive. It's not as complicated as Final Cut. We can just play around. So maybe we like this flexible text. We can even drag down. We can say, hey, let's make it even more colorful. Like if you wanted purple, if you wanted yellow, that looks like that would grab audience's attention, you know? It's really about doing things that will capture people and draw them in. And we can even take it a step further, okay? We could go animation for this text. Maybe we want it to be like typewriter. Like as I intro the video, we want it to be typed out, or maybe we want it to fade in, or I don't like these little gold dust, but maybe you do, and you want it to go like that, and you want the gold dust. Again, it's really up to you, but I think just understanding that these tools are as simple as a click of a button. It's just wild how good it's gotten in terms of making it, user friendly. So I just wanted to draw attention to that, especially when it comes to text. And because I could be all voiceover oriented, I can even in the same breath, just add captions with a simple click of a button. I can just click captions and generate. And obviously I haven't recorded the voiceover for this yet, but I could record and then have captions immediately generated on CapCut Desktop. So again, super simple. And let's see, are we immediately drawn into this video? Wow, she's got back knee. We're going to go into the spa with her and get a full tour. Again, maybe it feels like it's too slow. We're going to drag it in even more. And look, we just immediately have this intro. Okay, we're in Toronto, and now we're going to go into Tight Clinic and give this place a full review. So you see how quickly the edit is starting to gain shape. Now, of course, we're nowhere near the finish line, but I'm just trying to think of any other really key details that would be very beneficial to learn. So stickers is another thing that is very unique to CapCut. This is something that I think Final Cut doesn't even offer it at this level. So let's just dive into stickers a little bit, because I think this can be really interesting. Stickers don't exist on Final Cut or Adobe or any of these things. And they're really almost, this is like where the TikTok friendly first platform really comes into play. And it's so easy to drag and drop these extra stickers into your timeline and into your videos, not only to create more dynamic frames, but also to grab attention, right? So let's kind of dive into where this can be really interesting. So maybe we kind of jump ahead in this timeline and we see this moment where I'm introducing myself and where we're going. And maybe on this frame, I want to say that we're in Toronto. Maybe I can type in Toronto stickers and let's just see what pops up. Nothing unique for Toronto. Maybe I want to show spa. Okay, yeah, this could be nice. So maybe we're jumping into the spa moment and I'm thinking, okay, I want a spa reset. Let's see if there's any cute little sticker. Sometimes I hate these because they just look a bit cheapy, but I'm trying to think if there's a better example. Location maybe? Yeah, this could be good. So maybe I'm trying to show that this is in Toronto. So I can drag and drop this little frame, this little sticker, and I can actually change the size of it. So if I click the sticker, I can make it smaller. And what I can then also do is add text below it, and I can introduce the audience to where we're going. So I can say Tight Clinic, Toronto. And maybe again, I want to make this more visible. So I can click the text button down here. And I can make this more visible. Okay. So now we kind of have this cute little sticker to show our audience where we're heading. So again, it's simple things like that, but see how much more dynamic already that frame looks just by adding a sticker in the location. So you can see how adding small little things to the frames can really impact our ability to capture people's attention. Now, another way to capture attention is through transitions. So transitions again is up here on the right corner. Maybe we want a moment where we zoom in. Maybe we want to zoom in on my back knee. This is like a hilarious review, but whatever. This is a good way to show you guys. So we can go zoom in on this footage. And if I go zoom in or zoom out, let's see. Pull in. Do we want pull in or do we want zoom? I think we just want zoom. Let's go zoom. Or we want to swipe. Okay, this is good. Let's swipe to the next frame. So here we have a bit of a transition moment where I'm going from the back knee to into the car, and see how I already built in a bit of a fake swipe anyways, but now I can make it even better. I can go zoom swipe and I can drag and drop that exact transition so it happens between those two frames. So let's see what that looks like without me messing with it. Okay, so we have this very unique transition. Now we go, oh, no, let's go back to the car. Maybe we want to tighten that up a bit and we want it to be even shorter, even more, kind of snappy. So see how I'm just dragging in the timeline to make it even shorter. So we can go, oh, and quick little transition. All right. So again, it's really amazing that these things are just as simple as dragging and dropping and making it, really easy to create a workflow that is not overly complicated. So let's see if there's any other things you might want to be messing with. Adjustments, here's some things I don't care for, and maybe this actually is important to know. Adjustment, I don't play with this at all. Templates, I also don't tend to play with. You can if you want to, because it basically means you're filling in the blank of something someone has already done that already exists. But again, I think it's really when you're first learning more important to kind of create your own vibe and your own aesthetic. And so because of that, I would encourage you to not use templates because I think it can become a bit of a crutch. But again, they're there if you need them. So maybe if you wanted something unique like a film roll, let's see, film cinematic, we can then go into something like this and we can drag and drop that into our timeline and we can fill in the blanks. I can show you an example of that. So maybe I like this film moment and I want to introduce that to my audience. I'm just going to drag the volume just so you guys don't have to hear that. So, we're getting volume. So see how we can just drag and drop our own footage into this? We replace 8 clips. We can press that button and literally drag and drop 8 different clips that are ours, and it will keep it in this template. So again, it's a nice place to start. I just encourage you not to, you don't want to rely on that fully. The thing about editing is it really does become your own unique style. So you kind of want to find your voice. And I keep saying energy because the thing about videos, and specifically with TikTok and Instagram videos, is they do kind of take on a life of their own when it comes to the edit. And like I said, having unique little things that you do to grab audience attention, whether that be through text or whether that be through different footage or snappy little cuts. Maybe you're someone that wants to have really snappy cuts. And we can play with that for a second. Maybe we just want 3-second clips, which is you've seen those edits on TikTok. And so let's drag these in more and make them really snappy. And we can kind of see what that looks like. It's the frame is going to be changing on the beat every second. Okay. So those are just things to consider. Correct. Pacing. We call this pacing. Thank you. James is also my editor in my ear, and he has a lot of editing experience, so he would know even better than me. The last thing that I think is very important to talk about is music. Music is such a massive part of editing. Not only does it become a rhythm for your cuts, but it also allows for an overall feel of your video. So you can choose very uplifting music. You can choose music that just, again, keeps a really great pace. Maybe you want something more relaxing that kind of meets the vision of your edit, which is more spa-like or more of a review vlog-like video. So being particular about your music is an amazing place to start. Now, there are some editors that actually start with music. I've never been that way. I'm someone that likes to play with my footage and then find music that matches. It's truly up to you, but I do know amazing editors that start with a sound and then work the footage backwards. So again, I leave that up to you. But the way you're going to do this is you're going to go audio, and then you are going to hit music. Now, the great thing about CapCut, again, more unique to CapCut than any other editing software, is that all of the music can be found in platform. Now, this is amazing because, and I will turn my volume on for this just to show you guys an example. Let's say I want spa music for this edit. I'm going to go type spa into this. It's going to bring up sounds that it thinks relates to spa. So let's hear a couple. Okay, I think that's a little bit too slow. So again, it's really as simple as like clicking them and hearing them out. Let's maybe go soft spa moment. Again, I would worry about the pacing. So again, when you hear, it's funny how immediately within 2 seconds, I can tell if it'll be the right fit. But again, that's a learned year and I've been editing for 10 years. But if you hear a sound and you're like, oh, maybe that will work, you can always drag and drop it into your timeline and see if it fits the aesthetic of the video. But you also want to be cautious of the story you're trying to tell. So if I'm trying to encourage people to go visit this spa in Toronto, we do want something with a little bit of a lift. So maybe I go away from spa because maybe it'll feel too tired or too sleepy. And maybe instead I'll type in vlog. So I want something with a little bit more energy. So let's see. Okay, that I like. I immediately liked that. I could sense that there was like a bit of a beat. I can sense that it's still chill enough that it will match the tone of my spa video. So let's go ahead and drag and drop that into my timeline. Again, very easy, drag and drop. Now, again, I taught you guys this about volume earlier, but it is as simple as taking the little dongle and dragging it downwards. See how we have in the bottom left corner, we see the timeline going, we see the volume, sorry, I can't speak. We see the volume going down. So now we have -9 decibels. So maybe that feels like the right volume. Now, another little hot tip, and especially for short videos, I might want to take this little, my dongle again and drag it. See how it's creating, do you know what that's called, James? When it like is a fade in? Fade in, beautiful. We're going to create a fade in. So we're just literally going to drag that music. So we have this really nice fade in you're going to hear in a second when I play this example into the video. And the thing is, this is a great way to grab audience's attention without like shocking them. It's not going to be like right into the music. Instead, it's going to be like, and we're going to have a slow little fade into the music. So I really recommend using that little tip. So let's now watch this. So we've got, oh, beautiful. Fighting Backney in Toronto spa. Come into the spa with me. I'm doing the fake voiceover with it, and we're transitioning. Okay. And so I immediately really like that music. And maybe what I also want to do, accidentally have already done a great job at this, but see how we see these little jumps in the music where we see changes? That is a great place to create cuts. So maybe we go, I kind of did it by accident. Let's see if I can do it here instead. Okay, yeah, here's a good example. So we see a cut in the music. I'm going to drag my footage to where the cut is. And the reason for that is, again, you won't notice this, but a lot of editors are naturally doing this. And this is why you feel very calm watching content, because the audio is matched up very peacefully with the footage. So you don't feel like a sense of chaos. You're just kind of, you are immediately like drawn into the footage because everything is melting together. So that's kind of what we're working towards in an edit. So see how there was a lift in the music and now we're changing frames. What a great way to grab audience attention. Okay. So again, we can do that again. We might see another lift here in the music, and let's take that to another step further and make it right on the dot. So again, we can always just put our line on the timeline and figure out where that lift is and cut it. Beautiful. So now we might want to do it again. Like maybe we're like, hey, this edit to the music is really peaceful. Let's do it again. We're going to drag it right to that lift. So we're going to go, that was nice. Is it too fast? Let's see. No, it's nice. So there you go. Like playing. So again, it is based on preference, but this is why I like to drag the music in after I have a little bit of a timeline going, because I think it's a great way to hone it in and finalize those final touches. So let's see this example one more time. We can just play this. So we're kind of playing with the music now. We're jumping with the music, and we have that nice little zoom in. Maybe we want to end, and then we go right into the spa. Beautiful. It's almost like I'm an editor. Okay. So again, we would have voiceover. I would encourage myself to have voiceover over a video like this. I wouldn't just put music because I think that's another great way to tell a story, but you get the idea. Now let's jump into the next thing, which is color correction. Color correction for me is not something I'm overly picky about or something that I care too deeply about because I do typically shoot on iPhone. That is a skill that is reserved more for people that shoot on DSLR just because they're shooting with raw footage and they need to correct the color. But the thing is, iPhones are so good now that for the most part, you really don't have to be playing around with color or effects, which is a great thing. If you did want to, you absolutely can, and you can put effects on. Like we can go here and, you know, we can play with the footage however we want, really. Like we can put masks, we can retouch, there's so many things that are offered in CapCut. I just want to keep it pretty simple today because I really want this to be an intro to editing, not something for editors that have a lot of experience. But I did think it was just worth mentioning, like if you did want to correct color, you absolutely can. It's not something I think that you have to worry about when it comes to iPhone footage. If you did want to find an easy way to correct color, you can just click filters, which is up here on the right corner. Maybe I can show you an example if you want. We could just go enhance. There you go. Now we've got more saturation, more color. It's really up to you. I prefer to keep my footage raw. We can undo that. We can just go edit, undo, and there we go. It's gone. But if you did want to play with color, that is something you can do. Now, adding branding touches is also a great way to end your video. So something like a logo or a color palette. And we kind of talked about this at the beginning, like maybe your color palette becomes this yellow with this specific font and your audience gets to know you for that. And it's really important to understand that your audience starts to feel very comfortable with your editing style. So if you do want to do this long term, choosing color palettes, choosing fonts, and almost creating like a brand building when it comes to your edits is so important. And it's not always something you can teach to people, which is why I do encourage you to kind of learn these hard skills for yourself so that you can, one, you can share them with people if you do end up working with other people, or two, you're really just creating your own visual style. And that's so important. And that's what brands ultimately are paying for, really, when it comes down to it. Like when I work with my brand partners, they are paying for my stamp of not only obviously my name and likeness and me showing up in the content, but also they are paying for that, that editing style, that high pace, that energy, the voiceover, all of that good stuff. Okay, now, obviously, we haven't fully finalized this video, but for the sake of examples, let's say we were at the tail end of this edit. Okay, well, let's play the beginning back, and just so we feel confident in the edit that we've done so far. We're fighting the back knee at the Toronto Spa, and we have it cut to the music, which is really nice. We have some transitions. We're showing where we're heading, and we see the beautiful spa. We jump into the footage. Beautiful. Okay, let's say we feel good about this. Now we're going to go export, which is in the top right corner. Here's the thing. You want to know always what you've shot in. I know, I shouldn't say I think, I know I shot this in 60 FPS, which I don't always recommend. Filmmakers would cry and hate this for me, but the thing is, 60 FPS just makes everything feel kind of like flowy, and you're capturing more frames with it. It literally just means you're capturing more frames. So there is a certain AI like flow that comes with 60 FPS. A lot of TikTok right now, people really love it and they shoot in 60. It genuinely is up to you. If you were a filmmaker, you would be shooting in 24. So whatever you're comfortable with. But really, iPhone, you can shoot 4K 60 if you feel confident in that. And that's what a lot of people shoot in for that kind of AI, very seamless, flowy type of content. So you just want to make sure no matter what you shot in, you're exporting in. So if you shot in like cinematic mode, for example, on Instagram, cinematic mode automatically goes to 30 FPS. So just be aware of like what you're capturing your content in. And if you do film in 60 SPF, it does give you the benefit of being able to slow it down and create amazing slow motion footage. So that is something to keep in mind if you are looking to, have any of those speed moments altered. You can slow down your footage in 60 SPF in a really fabulous way. And that's why people also like to leverage it. Oh yeah, sorry, FPS. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I keep saying SPF like I'm looking for sunscreen, and that's not what I mean. I mean frames per second, FPS. So yes, we're focusing on frames per second, not vacation sun today. Okay, so anyways, such an aside. So now from here, again, very simple. We literally can just If we want, we can relabel this and name it so that we know. We can go Tight Clinic review video so that I know where to find it. And where do we want to export it to? Let's go right to desktop. So that's great. We want to export obviously in 4K. These things, you can leave them as is. You don't really need to mess with that. And again, that's a great thing about Final Cut. It really fills the gaps for you. Then we just click export. Now it'll load, it'll export. Okay, so now, okay, well, this is a bad example because I left all the super long footage in it, but we see that it's exporting, okay? And then I'm gonna like abort this because it's fake, but you get it. You get the takeaways. Okay, so do you get the takeaways? Let's walk through the takeaways. All right, so I hope this one was sort of more formal way of looking at editing today. And here's my takeaways for you. Editing really isn't about perfection. You have to start somewhere, but it is about clarity and it is about connection. So it's about storytelling and, finding a unique way to tell your story. A simple workflow saves you so much time, in the long run, and also creates a lot of posting consistency. So if you do find a really nice flow on CapCut Desktop, you can start to implement that onto all of your videos. It can become a little bit copy paste in a good way. So that's just something to remember. Something you work on once can become valuable in the future. Again, start with the basics. Like I said, we started today with just the cutting, creating nice pacing, working with music, creating text, and then don't be scared. And then you can grow into some of those more advanced tools later on. Like I said, dragging footage in, playing around is a great way to start, and don't be afraid to start somewhere. I know, and the feedback that I hear from a lot of people is they feel this pressure that no matter what job they're in now, they have to be creating some format of content, whether they're a lawyer or whether they're a spa owner or whether they do nails or whatever it might be. They feel this inherent pressure to have some version of a social media presence. And the thing that is a barrier to entry for a lot of people is the edit. They don't mind pulling out their iPhone and capturing a little bit of footage, but they don't have the hard skills to get it to the finish line. And I think this really feels like a CapCut ad, which I wish it was, but it's not. I think the reason I wanted to introduce CapCut Desktop to you guys in this more informal way is because I really think it's a great place to start for people, whether you are just a young editor or you might be someone with a really successful business and you're trying to grow your social media following and you need a place to start to understand these really simple ways that you can get a story from 56 minutes to 56 seconds, okay? And really capture audience attention and bring new business ultimately to you. Because ideally this video on TikTok would hit people interested at Toronto spas and back knee and all of these unique things and draw in new customers to Tight Clinic. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. It's unique. This was a very different, episode of That Digital Take, a bit of a departure from what we typically do. But, let me know in the comments what you guys think about videos like this. Definitely more of a how-to versus, me talking head at you. So yeah, keep me posted. And I hope this was insightful and I can't wait to see your edits. All right. See you in the next episode. Love you. Mean it. Bye.